Hi, I'm Cheryl. I have another Father's Day card. I'm be using the Lift Me Up stamp set and the die cuts for it. And this is kind of cute, isn't it? With the hot air balloon, and then on the inside it just says simply Happy Father's Day with some little balloon stamps and some clouds. So this is what we're going to need for this card. Not too much stuff. There's a lot of die cutting involved, but not a lot of materials involved on this. So we need a piece of cherry cobbler. This is 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. That'll be our card base. Piece of soft sky. This is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Don't make yourself crazy writing these down, because I'll have all the dimensions listed down below with the materials that I've used. So we'll need a piece of gold foil paper, and this is 3 by 4. You notice I've already got die cuts done on these. A piece of cherry cobbler is 1.5 by 5. Piece of Night of Navy. This is 3 3/4 by 5. Little piece 2.5 by 3.5. And we need some Whisper White. You'll need a piece about 5 by 2.5 to cut the clouds from. And as I said, we're using the Lift Me Up stamp set. We're using this little cloud right here stamp, and this one, it says you soar above the rest, congratulations. We're going to mask that off and just use the you soar above the rest. And then from the dies, we'll be using the hot air balloon, the big balloon here. And then it's got all these pieces that fit inside the balloon. We'll be using those. And the little basket. And we have 3 different size clouds. We'll be using those. And I think that's it for the dies. That's plenty, let me tell you. Let me get these that are for the color stripes on there, because I wanted to show you how I did that and how I decided what stripes went where. And then I'm going to use this cloud and just a little bit too. And then from the Crazy About You stamp set, we're using the word happy, and there's a Father's Day on here somewhere. There it is. And Happy Father's Day. And I have that out and already mounted on my block, so that's ready to go. Okay, the very first thing we're going to do is you'll want to die cut this piece, the hot air balloon that's all got the open work on it, from your gold foil, because we're going to turn that over. And we're going to put our Tombow glue on the back. We're just going to do real lightly wherever there's enough of a place to put Tombow. I'm going to put that on the back. And then we're going to put it aside. And you probably think, oh no, our glue's going to dry while we do other things. And yes, that's exactly what we want it to do. We want our glue to dry. Then it will become sticky like a glue dot, but it won't ooze out all over everything. So we just want, again, it's just light Tombow. And around our basket here, we want it down here, around our basket. Okay, and that looks, maybe I'll put a little here. You just want to make sure everything sticks down on it when we go to stick things down. Okay, now I'm going to put this aside for the moment. Put that up there. And we're going to move on. We're going to do our sentiment, and I'll show you how to do this. Take your little pieces and lay them out in the order that they'll go on the balloon, just like this. Okay, and now I started with Knight of Navy on the top, so I want this one Knight of Navy, I want this one Knight of Navy, and this one Knight of Navy, and then I want these two cut from the cherry cobbler. So that's how I did that. And I have my two piles. I know these will all be Knight of Navy, and these will be the cherry cobbler. That might seem like a kind of silly thing to do, but there's nothing more frustrating than to go to glue these down and find out that you've cut them wrong. Okay, so move on to our stamp here. We need a little piece of masking tape. I'm going to put that over the congratulations part on this stamp. Stick that down well. Then I'll get my Memento black out here, and I'll ink that up. And then we're going to carefully peel this off. And that can go right in the trash because it's now got ink all over it. And we don't need that ink around. And right about in the middle of my little piece of paper here, I'm going to stamp the U soar above the rest. And we're going to use our die, and we're going to center that on the die. Now, if you have a big shot and you have the magnetic plate, this is a wonderful time to use that magnetic plate. If you don't have the magnetic plate, then take a piece of I'm trying to peel my piece of tape off. Take a piece of masking tape or painter's tape and just dab it on your clothing a few times to take some of that sticky out. It'll pick up some lint from your clothes, and it won't be so sticky. You could use washi tape or whatever tape you like to use, and you'll just stick it on, and that will hold it in place. But I have the magnetic plate, and I'm just loving it, so I'm going to use that. Let me bring my big shot in here. Get my plates out here. And put my paper down, and just center that in that little cloud die. Put my top plate on and run that through. And it will be wonderful. The next, because I have another one of these clouds die cut to use on the front. I didn't want them both to be exactly the same. So on mine, and you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but on mine, I took my my little fussy cutting scissors, and I just made this cloud just look just a little different than the other cloud by cutting this top part like that. So now it looks like this, and this was how it looked originally. So you see now they look just a little different. Like I said, you don't have to do this. I do some things that some people might think are a little crazy, but that's just me. Okay, so I'm bringing in our hot air balloon, and we've got our Our Tombo's pretty well dry on there now. And I can start putting my pieces down. And I'll start with this top one. And stick that down. Then I need a red one. Oops. And we'll put that one down next. Just like so. Then we'll put another navy, our next navy piece, and our cherry cobbler, and the bottom of the balloon right here, and that's Knight of Navy again. And then, oh, for the basket I cut just another little piece of the gold foil. I didn't want it to be another color, but it does make a difference because you've got some dimension there. But there's our balloon ready to go on the front of the card. Let me bring my card base in. And I have my soft sky. I have my bigger piece here of Knight of Navy. And you know what I don't have? I don't have my piece of Whisper White for the inside. I guess I'm going to have to cut one. Let me grab a piece of Whisper White here. All of my things are pretty close at hand, so it doesn't take much for me to grab something to bring it in here. And this is going to be, let's see, that looks like probably 3 3/4 by 5. And it's not quite 5, but that's okay. I'll use that anyway. I'll take it. It's close enough. No one will ever know it's not exactly the size I thought I was going to cut, except for me and you. And you won't tell, will you? Okay, so we'll get our Memento black. And like I said, I have my Happy Father's Day stamp already on my block. And when you're adding words together like this, it's always a good idea to test it. Test it out on some scrap paper, because you might think you have it lined up really well, and it might not be. So I'm going to go down a little over 1 inch from the top of the card, and then center it side to side here. And we'll stamp that. And then I'll use my Smokey Slate ink. And I'll stamp my balloons here. So there's the bigger one. I'm going to put him up in the corner here. And he's going to go, it doesn't matter if it goes over the sentiment because it's Smokey Slate. It's a much lighter color. And then over here, I'll put the smaller one. And then we'll put some of these clouds. This is such a cute little cloud. It's got these little curly cues on it. So I put a couple of those clouds up here. And maybe one down here. And that's plenty for the inside. Okay, so we have that. And let's put the front of our card together now. I'll take my Tombow. I'll put that on the back of the soft sky. And yeah, there is a right and a wrong side to papers. When you die cut, or even when you use a paper trimmer, from the top it'll kind of cup down. So if you look on the back, and I'm sure it's not going to show up on the video, but there's like, well, maybe you can see it. There's like a little ridge, and you can feel it with your finger on the back side of it. And then on the front, well, that doesn't show up in the video, but it's like cupped down a little bit. And I always like to have that so that that cupped down side is facing upward, not the cupped up part. So we'll put this down. We have just a tiny little border, like I think it's a 1/16 of an inch all the way around here. And I'm just going to set my balloon here for a second. I'm going to have that go off a little bit onto the base card part. So let me see. I'm going to put this cloud. I want that to kind of go behind my balloon a little here. And I want this cloud up here. Oop, stay there. Stay there, little cloud. And then I have a little bitty cloud for over here. Okay. So now I know pretty much where I want to put these. So I'm just going to leave my finger there. Well, maybe what I'll do, I'll put my scissors. I'll put the point of my scissors there. Then I have my finger to hold down my cloud while I put glue on it. Come on, glue. And you know what? I think, oh no, here it comes. Ah, every time I think that Tombow is done, it keeps coming. Okay, so I want my cloud to be right there. And my other cloud will go on top, my medium-sized one. Now, I'm not going to pop my balloon up with dimensionals, but if you'd like to do that, then that would be nice. Something nice to do. Come on, glue. Oop. There we go. And I've got my little bitty cloud. Go right over here. And then I will put my balloon down. I want that just a little bit of an angle, and I want it going off the page a little, going off this section a little bit. There. There we go. And then we can put our cloud with the sentiment on it. Yeah, this might be the last card I get to use this Tombow on. And we want to put that right here down at the bottom. No, you don't want it lined up perfectly with that other larger cloud above it. And flip this over. Come on, Tombow, you can do it. Last little bit from this bottle. God forbid I should throw away a bottle that has even the tiniest little dab of glue left in it. And we're ready to put that on the front here, and you'll have about a 1/4 inch showing all the way around. And open that up. See if we can squeeze just enough Tombow out here to put the inside of our card down. Oh, there we go. Such a good bottle of Tombow. It has served me well. But that's the end of that Tombow. I'm going to throw it in the trash right now. And I'll put this inside the card. Then we want to center that. It's going to be a different size from top to bottom than from side to side because the paper wasn't quite the size I wanted it. But it looks perfectly fine to me. And there's the finished card. So if you've liked this card, if you've liked this video, be sure to hit the like button down below. If you want to see more of my videos, then hit the subscribe button. And if there's anything you'd like to shop with me for from Stampin' Up, then you can do that either through my Facebook page or my website. And I'll have all of the materials I use listed down below too. So y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.